What a day of football we had yesterday. The Chiefs keep finding a way to just get it done. And we got one of the best games of the year in LA as the Rams took down the Buffalo Bills. I'm Kay Adams.
Get out of here, Gronk. Let's do it. See you, Gronk. I love having Gronk in studio. A little I Am Ron Burgundy moment. Welcome to the Up and Adams Show. I wanted to say an extra special hello to everyone watching on FanDuel Sports Networks. I believe there are 16 of them. FanDuel took them over and made them their own, and they're not part of the family. And so we welcome you. This is where we talk and celebrate and figure out what's to come with this NFL season. Early on yesterday, I was a little bored. I'll be honest. We got Matthew Hamilton, who's also in the studio. Welcome to LA, my friend. I was a little bored. And then things
always happens.
Things went as they were supposed to go, and I was like, okay. Like I don't need these extra games. We have another extra. Like, let's figure out the playoff picture now. But then things got spicy. Rams and Bills. I kept saying it's going to be a great game. I was super excited about that one. And then, of course, last night. So we've got lots to talk about. Hammy will be sitting here. Gronk will be here in a little bit. Aqib Talib, former teammate, former foe also of one Robert Gronkowski, will be on the program. The Chiefs did it again last night. Do they make their own luck? That's for you to decide. They pulled through in the final couple seconds. They doinked their way to 12-1, 10-0 in one possession games this season. They pick up a 9th straight AFC West title. Love it. Here we go. The doink. A doink that goes in as a Bears fan. This is upsetting to watch. But let's hear from a guy who's getting no Coach of the Year love for some reason, but Andy Reid, Super Bowl champion many times over, on his message to his team after said game.
Good job, man. Those T-shirts look good. Mm-hmm. We're going for more. We'll enjoy this one. We'll enjoy it, and we pick it up and we get ourselves back in. And we finish this thing the way we know we can finish it, right? That's what we do. Hey, right. Next time a little right.
Everybody's getting a cheeseburger. Everyone's excited. Chiefs fans, I got their temperature check against the Panthers. Then the Raiders happened. The Chiefs fan base, these one-possession games, I don't care. Nobody's betting against them. I think it's fine. I'm so curious to hear what a bunch of Super Bowl champions, 4 with Gronkowski, I think 2 with Talib, or 3? 2? One with Talib, but he knows what it's like. He's played with the Mannings. He's played with obviously Tom, who was hanging out with Gronk on the Fox side a little bit. Curious to hear what they have to say about this. Like, did anybody think that doink wasn't going to go their way? I didn't. They win the division. That's nice, but we finish this thing the way we know we can finish it. That was the line. That's what we do. That is so cold-blooded and so badass. Welcome to my swearing FanDuel Sports Network. As vulnerable as the Chiefs looked at times last night, and they did the first half, of course, throughout the year against lower competition, they do deserve credit in finding ways to get it done. For instance, the Panthers can't do that. They keep taking it. They can't finish. This is a team that you know is going to finish, and it's because of this guy that you know that's going to happen. You can't repeat something 10 times in a row and say, well, they get lucky. The calls go their way. When the chips are down, it is Mahomes, Kelsey. Whole team comes up clutch. It doesn't matter how many times Patrick gets hit, and he's getting hit more than ever. What mistakes happen early in the game, they overcome it. And yes, and it's a mentality, that's a confidence thing. We'll keep talking about this. Sounds like week in, week out, the challengers in the AFC, they're there. Can they take it to them? We'll get to that. I mean, the Bills versus them would be really nice. But when it matters, they do it. And beyond the AFC West, this was a huge one for Kansas City. Why? Because it pushes their lead for the #1 seed in the AFC to 2 games over the Bills, just 4 to play. Buffalo hasn't been shy about how much they want home field advantage. Deion Dawkins saying they need it. I think that's fair. But Hamilton, KC's in control.
They are in total control right now, and with 4 games played, that would mean the Chiefs would have to go 2-2 the rest of the way. The Bills would have to go 4-0 to get that 1 seed from them. It's hard to imagine that happening with the way the Chiefs just keep finding a way.
It's a tough one for the Chargers. They still, like, if you can, the full screen there, they have a 2-game lead for a wild card spot. So I still like that. They got to figure out offense. I had this tweet yesterday with Lad McConkey, okay? I was feeling myself. If you guys could see the group chain that goes, it's 3 people. to set the editorial for the day. It's hard to do. It's a puzzle to put together. What goes where, what's important, and it's unhinged. Like the fact that at some point...
It's very some people are more emotional on that chain than others and prisoners of the moment as things are happening.
I've called many people insufferable yesterday. There's character assassinations left and right from me to other people in the world. But Ladd McConkey was what, like 99% of this offense for weeks and weeks going into this one. This whole game to me did come down to, is he going to play? And he didn't. In the first half, especially, they could not get anything going. Quentin Johnson, they were not on track until really the second half. My point, Chiefs fans, who I love dearly, I'm the aunt to the two cutest little Chiefs fans in all the land. My point, it had nothing to do with you. As always, you have to insert yourself. And I played myself, though. I played myself. I said, if Ladd was in this game, what would be the score? Because I do think that it's a problem for the Chargers that he is so important, Dobbins as well. But he's so important to you got to find a way to get a rhythm and connect with these other guys if you want to make it into the dance. They did a little bit more down the stretch. I loved seeing that. And by the way, the Chiefs can thank the other LA team for their 2-game cushion at the top. Listen to this. The Rams take on the Bills, of course. Amazing game we're going to get to. And let's get into it, shall we? McVay, dangerous. The whole thing. Last week we had Braden Fisk on. He was leading rookies in sacks going into this week. He was named Player of the Month sometime last week. And it was, what are these Rams? I don't know what to do with them. They're sitting there at 6-6. That they seem 6-60 to me, 6-70, 7-60, whatever. What are they? And then Stafford rolls in. This is shot for shot with Josh Allen. Maybe not at the same time, but this is like a vintage Stafford performance because everyone was out there. Everyone was healthy. Puka Nacua, just the most fun player of yesterday's action. What a game. Best game as a pro. 17 touches, 178 yards, 2 scores, running over people, through people, having a great time while he does it. The Bills really had no answer for him. He is just a revelation, so unique, fun to watch. O-line looked consistent, looked as good as it's looked. No sacks allowed. Stafford barely got touched in this one. You love to see it for them. They're 5-2 since Puka and Cooper Kupp returned to the lineup. They got wins over the Vikings, the Seahawks, and the Bills. Tough to say that if they stay healthy, they can't make a little bit of a run here. And if you look at their schedule, it kind of dictates that. LA still only getting a 41% chance to make the playoffs, okay? Plus 154 over on FanDuel Sportsbook. I think they're alive. They're alive, and they're getting set for Thursday Night Football. Short week for them against the Niners. Clearly got a lot of confidence. They're 1 game back of the Commanders for wild card spot, 1 game back of Seattle in the NFC West. They are a team who's got the pedigree. I heard Tom talking about that all day yesterday. You don't want to see them if you're one of the contenders in the NFC. You do not want that smoke. They, of course, won the game, though nobody would think that way because everyone's talking about the Bills side of things, which I get. Josh Allen's insane. We said, Kuechly, how do you stop him? The Rams could and could not, really could not for the entire time. They tried to, of course. But is this a loss that cements his MVP bid? I think it might be. He became the first player in NFL history with 3 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing touchdowns. He extends his lead as the favorite on FanDuel Sportsbook, minus 450. Saquon distant second at plus 550, okay? I don't want to overreact to one little game, one little vacuum. Hamilton and I talked about this at length on this group text chain when I was taking people down left and right. This defense is the question mark for the Bills. We were talking about the contenders, and I'm going to bring you in for this, not to bring the Steelers up. We'll talk about them. Steelers, I think we had a really great point yesterday and they have the highest floor. The Steelers you trust the most. The Bills have a lower, way higher ceiling, of course, but the Bills' defense is a bit of a question mark, and it's going to get exploited against an offense like the Rams. Can you explain that a little bit? Yeah,
and we talked about it before the game even started, that the one question I have with the Bills is just the talent level on defense. They're so well coached with Sean McDermott. You know everybody's going to do what they're supposed to do. They're super disciplined. They're going to play hard. They're going to fly to the ball, but they did lose a lot of pieces there, and the talent level isn't quite what it was. And you saw it against the Ravens earlier in the year when they go against an offense that has a lot of speed, that has a lot of athletes. They looked vulnerable, and the Rams, that's one of the few offenses they've seen since that kind of has that. Yes, they saw the Niners, but the snow was a mitigating factor there.
What do you mean? The Niners were the greatest show on turf yesterday. What are you talking about? Best offense I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
But who's a contender that the Bills could face that could give them some trouble offensively?
And see, that's the thing is the AFC doesn't have a ton of matchups that can really
They
exploit.
luck out.
Yeah, the Ravens are really the team that I think is a tough matchup for them. The Bengals, yeah, that Bengals offense though, those are the only two like really explosive offenses in the AFC right now. You tweeted it out. 7 of the top 8 offenses in the NFL are in the NFC. So the Bills might still be able to get to the Super Bowl even if that defense is a little bit of a problem.
We don't want to overreact, but I mean, the Bills have the lowest ranked total defense that they've had in 5 years. Okay, that is not great. Buffalo scored 6 touchdowns without a turnover, the 248th time a team has done that in NFL history. There's a lot of things to talk about here. Aqib Talib is the perfect person to ask about the Buffalo defense, what they need. But if you look at, they weren't like blown coverage. They weren't like messing things up. There weren't a ton of mistakes on the defensive side, but that's almost worse because then it's like a personality
issue.
Oh, I think they're fine because they've got Josh Allen. Okay, let's talk about Seahawks Cardinals. We talked about a lot of NFC West talk here to kick off our week. We said to the 12s, what do you want to talk about? We said to the NFL, what do you want to talk about? A lot of Seahawks love, and they deserve it. They beat the Cardinals for the second time in 3 weeks. That is not easy to do against any competition. They make it 4 straight wins. They're in control of the NFC West, and the Rams are going to try to disrupt it, but I almost don't know if I want to see that happen. I hit up the text chain and said, please get me Mike McDonald. I just want to talk to new, fresh dad, Mike McDonald. Here's him in the locker room after the win.
Man, what awesome freaking game, guys. I mean, talking about like just playoff football, December, physicality, focus, togetherness. Guys, did we talk about putting it all together? Did we talk about that tonight? We put it all together, okay?
All right, I want to take a look at this. The Seahawks are perfect 4-0 since their bye. The defense has gone from bottom 10 to top 5. They're aggressive. They are confusing. Leonard Williams has been unblockable. They have changed their approach offensively. You can see here, they went from leading the league in passing before the bye to 26th since. They've leaned on the run game. We love it. We don't want to see Geno throwing over and over and over. It's not going to help anybody. This is giving Harbaugh right now. I think it is. Mike, of course, coached under both of the brothers, and it is showing. Geno, I just want it for him. I'm excited about him. He's one of the toughest players. He came up big yesterday after the Cardinals jumped out to an early lead, but he barely missed while helping the Seahawks rip off a 17 unanswered situation in the first quarter. JSN, we don't talk about him. I think it's because people like saying Charbonnet more. So if you're talking about, like those announcers love when Charbonnet makes a play. But JSN, he's amazing. Both of them together, they're dominating. 193 total yards, 2 scores in what was, I believe, Charbonnet's 5th start, which is incredible. Let's take a look at the landscape here and put it into context. The Seahawks are a game up on the Rams in the NFC West. Favorites to take it home at -135. Who do they have on Sunday night? The Packers. Oh, man. Vikings after that, that's going to be tough. There's a lot to be written here, but they're playing incredible football right now. There's a game between the Bengals and Cowboys tonight. There's a Simpson situation. We'll have Mo and Chief Wiggum and all the best. I think Stephen A. Smith is a character. It'll be fun. Kevin Durant will love that. Here is my parlay. I didn't have one last night. I thought about it. I was like, no, I want to do the Monday nighter. 250-plus yards, Jamar to score a touchdown. I think T and CeeDee Lamb each put up 50-plus receiving yards. Plus 312 is great. And you can go hang out with this on FanDuel Sportsbook. Go do your thing, tail it, play along, and we'll have a great thing to talk about. We've got not only Rob Gronkowski, we've got Aqib Talib, Super Bowl champions on the program. I love this because we'll get a little offense, little defense. These two and at it in the playoffs. We love it. Woo-hoo. I think when we have these like little bits that go right into full screens, there doesn't need to be an on-cam there.
Okay.
Go from the side to the full screen.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like one sentence.
Yeah.
Rams.
You're right, that schedule thing, we can get Seahawks stuff.
The rest of the way?
Schedule the rest of the way.
Then the Rams.
Vikings, and then the Rams have a softer schedule.
I'm trying to think what
And
else.
they play each other again.
I wasn't with the Commanders at first, but they're kind of declining.
What up?
Okay, thank you.
Is Kat around?
Just saw her walk that way.
there coffee? I think there was another coffee. Oh, here it is. She got it. Never mind. Don't need it. How's work yesterday?
It was good. Long day.
Long day.
Long day.
You watch football all day?
Yeah, 11-hour day yesterday. We good though.
11-hour day.
11-hour day.
Holy macaroni.
Wake up at 5:30, get picked up, you
You're
go
the
in,
best.
you prepare, do a little
Do they dress
walkthrough.
you or do you bring your own stuff?
No, they dress us,
That's nice.
which is the best thing ever. I just show up and there's a suit there, just
They
ready
do a
for me
good
to
job,
go.
yeah.
Oh, it's the best. I couldn't even imagine
What's
me
her name?
trying to
She
pick
does a
out
really good.
Vicky.
Does she dress Kevin?
She's my best friend.
Does she dress Burkhart?
I'm not sure because they're on the road,
I think
so
he looks Burkhart.
I really haven't seen Burkhart
Hot take.
because he's always
Great outfit.
he's really not on TV. You just hear his voice.
He's the only. Oh, I look for what he's wearing. I think he's like the best dressed on TV right now. I think she dresses him.
Burkhart's a man. I love him. Kevin's a cool dude.
I don't know what it would be like to. I mean, you're not the person to tell this to, but to like look at Tom Brady for that long, I would be like, oh my god. He's just perfect looking.
Well, Kevin's just as good looking, too.
I think that's my whole point is Kevin is holding his own and then some this year.
They actually have very similar build. They look the same. They have like the same
There's
jawline, same bodies. Kevin's just a little bit
I have said this in meetings that Kevin is bringing
They're
it.
duplicates, right? You're just chilling in the booth.
I know, but there's something like not human about Tom. You know, like when you look at him, he's like so perfect looking. I would just get like lost in that.
He is good looking.
Yeah. I didn't say good looking. I said perfect looking.
Well, that's even better than good looking. Yeah, you're.
You and I are shooting some commercials later. We excited about this?
Oh, you're shooting the commercials as well?
Excuse me. Yes.
I didn't know. I didn't even know I was shooting a commercial. It's not even a commercial.
Gronk and I are the best because.
I thought it was a social
Oh, is it?
A social commercial.
Maybe it is a social commercial. I don't know. What do we know?
I don't
Who knows
know.
less, me or Gronk,
I'm just
about
gonna
what
read
we're
whatever
doing?
pops up on the teleprompter.
Gronk knows less?
Yeah.
Why? Oh, it's a real commercial.
It's a real commercial? Oh, all right. All right.
I don't know.
I'm not worried.
Joined now by two Super Bowl champions. How lucky am I? Former teammates. We've got an analyst for Fox NFL Sunday. He worked 11 hours yesterday, Rob Gronkowski. And, I mean, I'm sure you'll join me in welcoming Aqib Talib. You two know each other.
Aqib, my homie, what's good, brother?
What's the deal, baby?
Oh,
Kay,
man.
how you doing?
I was so happy when we traded for you when I was in New England, when you were on the Tampa Bay Bucks, and then Aqib came over his first game. He had a pick six to the house. Pretty sure it was like 59 yards versus the Indianapolis Colts, and then you came over that night, and we had a good time celebrating, brother. You remember
All
that?
day. Yeah, we gotta keep the post game festivities under wraps, but you know I remember that, Gron. You know I remember that.
Boo. I want to know, Aqib, what you remember about that. What do you remember about that celebration?
Foxborough, it's a small town, man. So either you go 40 minutes to Boston or you go to Gronk house and chill. So, you know, it's just regular Gronk activities, man. Y'all know what that is.
Regular Gronk activity.
Yeah, and it was young Gronk too. So when you're talking about young Gronk, you can speculate. You can speculate everything possible that's on the table.
Look, young Gronk, man. Everything on the table, baby.
Aqib, what was your impression of young Gronk when you first met him?
A dog, okay. You know what it was? We had a training camp practice against the Patriots, right? I was playing for the Bucks, and Bill and the guys came, and that's when I probably first seen it live. Like, he a monster, man. So just upbeat and a real ball player. So I was excited to you know, not have to go against him.
I remember that. So we went down there. We were playing the Bucks in preseason. So we went down, you know, when you have the joint practices.
Yeah.
We went down 3 days early. We flew in the night before, and then we went to the hotel. We woke up, and then we had practice at like 9 a.m. And it was the hottest practice I've ever dealt with in my whole entire life. I'm talking like 95% humidity. It was like 95 degrees out. And it was one of the worst scenarios I've ever put myself through. I wanted to pass out like 5 different times. I was literally running 1 mile per hour by like, you know, the fourth period because I was just drenched in sweat and so out of breath. And Aqib was out there. This is what I remember. I look at that guy, and he was talking garbage 24/7 while I was just trying to catch my breath. Aqib, that's when I knew you were an absolute machine. And then we traded for you later. I think it was that year or the year after, and I was like, man, I'm gonna love this guy. To have him on your team, you don't want to go against Aqib. You want him on your team. So that was really cool when that scenario happened.
You two were against each other.
I never forget those.
Yeah,
I never forget those joint practices right there.
Aqib,
That's what made Bill come and get me.
Yeah, there we go. and then you guys went and made magic. I was at the game, the AFC Championship game in 2015. It was to that moment, the loudest atmosphere I had ever been in. Everything was shaking. And when I Google the names, Aqib, Talib, and Gronkowski, there's lots made about this. I take it you two got over this. 2 minutes left to keep Patriots down, 4th and 6. Talk me through this.
That was a great pass breakup. I mean, it was 4th down play. You see me rising up over Gronk right there. Great pass breakup, no PI at all.
Yeah, you know, that was never going to get called, but Aqib was a veteran DB right there, so he knew what he was doing. I mean, it's kind of like when in the situation, you know, when I kind of like have a push off, but I go down and I use my shoulder and I kind of give the chicken nugget. It's clear. Can you see it? Like I go down, give the chicken nugget, but I don't extend all the way. And if I extend all the way, that's a penalty. But if I don't, I just use my shoulder, my body, and my elbow, the ref's never going to call that, even though technically it's kind of a push off. You kind of used it to your advantage as a DB. Yeah. You grabbed me down below while you were really close to me. So it wasn't like you could see the extension of my jersey or anything, and you're just pulling me down so the jersey wasn't extending at all. So therefore, the referee was never going to call it. Plus, there was 3 guys around me, so the chances of me catching that ball were actually probably pretty high still, because I'm a beast like that, Aqib.
Hey, you got to jump first, Kay. That's the secret.
Oh, okay.
You got to jump first. So if you jump, if you in the air and you're looking at the ball, it don't really matter what else you're doing with your offhand. So jump first. That's the secret. That's what I try to teach my kids.
I love it. Everyone's getting along.
Hang time. Jump first.
Aqib, was this, let me show you this play from last night, Chiefs-Chargers. Was this holding? Chargers fans all over this. What do you think, Aqib?
Nah, I don't think.
I'm trying to look at
who are we talking about?
It's a great question.
Creed Humphrey on the center?
Ham, I don't know. Mahomes was rushing for 10. He's trying to get him into field goal range.
Man, that's just Mahomes being Mahomes. You gonna pray for anything to save you, but at the end of the day, man, it's only Mahomes. You going against Mahomes, so you can pray for holdings and pass interference. That's definitely not holding on. No way.
Nah, I don't see any holding there either. I mean, there have definitely been some controversial calls with the Kansas City Chiefs, but I ain't going to lie. That play, I don't see a hold, man. I just see a couple football players playing football, and that's all. Maybe a little tugging, a little grabbing, but nothing too serious. You got to let it go in some scenarios. In that case right there, that was just Mahomes being Mahomes, like Aqib said.
Well, we whiffed on that. Apologies, guys. At Up and Adam Show, if you guys have any questions, we've got, of course, Super Bowl champion Aqib Talib, Rob Gronkowski here. So you're saying there's calls that have gone their way. There's this whole narrative. There's these one-possession games. They've won and clinched the AFC West title for the 9th straight year. Aqib, you were part of a Patriots run of 11 straight division titles. What is it like to be on a team with that kind of continued dominance? Do you buy into the fact that they're playing down to competition, making it close against the Raiders, the Panthers, the Chargers? Is there anything to that? Because you guys didn't seem to lack motivation. What do you make of these Chiefs?
Sometimes you want teams who just go blow everybody out, and that's fine and dandy. But I think you really build them calluses. You really build yourself as a team when you win those close games, man. If you show yourself that you can win those close games, I think it do a lot for you in the postseason. So I think, man, it's wonderful for the Chiefs, man. Winning all these close games. When they get to a close game in January, it's gonna be like, hey, this is what we do. So I always say for quarterbacks, man, we never talk about the skill of winning, and some quarterbacks have it, some quarterbacks don't. Patty got it, Tom had it, Peyton had it. So you see a lot of those successful teams, their quarterback got that skill of winning, man. You know how to win those games at the end of the game. So
this is a good thing for them, Aqib?
Yeah, I think it is, man. You can blow out a few teams, but when you can win those close games, you come in the locker room feeling better off a close win than you do off a major blowout. I mean, a major blowout is like, all right, what we doing? A close win, you're going to kind of be hanging out in that locker room. You're going to feel that vibe a little bit. So I think it's good for them. Not that they need to practice. I mean, they do it every year, but I think it's good for them, man.
What do you think, Gronk?
I think they're going to need to be able to put it together on the offensive side of the ball, because there's going to be a team that comes in hot, like, you know, if they face the Detroit Lions, the Buffalo Bills again, like it happened already this year. That offense is going to have to pick it up. No doubt about it. And I think they will. I think when the games become bigger, the scenario becomes bigger, they know how to adjust and adapt, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs for you. But that's their mentality. That's the way that they win games. It's not like they have the offensive weapons right now, compared to, when they had Tyreek Hill and all those guys where they just launched the ball down the field consecutively every play. So the way that they're winning, that's all that matters. Patrick Mahomes can adjust in any scenario, in any situation. That's why he's one of the winningest quarterbacks already in the NFL, and that's why he has 3 Super Bowl rings. And on top of it, it's just incredible every time he has that final drive. You can't put that ball into the Kansas City Chiefs' hands on the final drive of the game because they're going to go down and find a way. You just have to put the pressure on the Chiefs, and that's when they amp it up to the next level. And that's what they did again last night. They had 4 minutes left in the clock, drove down the field, and then kicked the field goal to win the game. So don't give the ball to Patrick Mahomes with time left if you want to win. It's easy as that, but that's actually pretty difficult to do, too.
Hey, easier said than done, Gronk.
Exactly.
Aqib, did you watch Bills Rams?
I did.
I would just love to know your takeaway. The losing team's getting all the love that never happens, and then you've got the Bills defense I want to ask you about, but what stuck out to you from this one?
The Bills defense stuck out to me. I love what Josh Allen is doing, man. He's controlling the game. He don't have to worry about getting a certain guy the ball. He can spread it around. He can run, and he's controlling the game. He's doing his job. But that defense, though, okay, it just don't look championship-like to me, man. I'm not putting no cash on the Bills when they play a cold team. I just can't do it because they play that kind of conservative. We're gonna stay too high and let you get close to the red zone, and then we're gonna lock. I don't really buy in. I don't really like the secondary. I don't see them winning the chip with that defense.
What don't you like about it? What's the problem with the secondary? Because Stafford was unstoppable. Puka Nacua looked like the best player I've ever seen. Dig into this defense and what needs to be fixed.
It's too many points on the board. It's almost easy. It's Josh Allen has to overcome everything. The defense they're not having games where they giving guys 10 points or 3 points or where they just look dominant, where they look like a championship defense. In my opinion, defense going to still win you that championship. Now, in today's game, offense still cranking up, but man, you see when it come down to the nitty-gritty, the defense is going to have to get stops in key situations. I don't know if Buffalo doing that.
Yeah, but Aqib, it's not like there was any blown coverages from the Buffalo Bills on the defensive side of the ball. Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp were just making excellent plays, and it's not like anyone else in the league could have stopped them from making those plays. Like that catch from Puka over his shoulder and then tapping his toes in and falling out of bounds. No one could stop that. The ball was perfectly placed. Puka, a wide receiver probably makes that catch. Percentage of making that catch probably 10 to 15%. So it's not like the Bills were, playing terrible football. They were competitive. They were there to, stop them, but just the Rams were just on fire. It's just one of those games where it was a shootout.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? So I don't see the Bills being, that bad defensively. I think it was just one of those games where just points were just going to be put up no matter what. And Matthew Stafford and offensive and company were just absolutely on fire.
Right, and then I'm scrolling through the scores. I see a lot of 10 points. So they actually are keeping people down and with those points. Some of these games, but it's the Jags, it's the Cardinals, it's offenses ain't that good. So I don't know. It's When I think of championship defense, I want to see the names at corner. I want to see some guys who we can rely on, man. I want to see some safeties, some middle backers. They got Milano back, but I want to see some guys we can rely on, man. They got my guy Vaughn over there. They got Milano back, but I don't know. They solid up front, but I just don't look at Buffalo and say that's a championship defense. It's just something about it.
I think it's scary that there wasn't a lot. There was the Kyron Williams one. That was a tough one to swallow. But, schematically, defense, whatever, they weren't missing. So it speaks to, maybe them not having the names, the talent. Isn't that a little scarier? It's a little scarier that, everything was working right. They just didn't have the guys to take on the skill positions with the Rams. So if they run into a really skilled offensive team, will they be able to do it? Or Aqib doesn't matter because Josh Allen's out here scoring 6 touchdowns a game, putting up 30.
They got Josh Allen. They got Josh Allen, and they got some rushers on defense. So maybe it's a game they get hot in the playoffs and they get a bunch of sacks, they get some tip balls and things like that. But just from the blind eye, maybe it's from last night, Kay. I seen the Rams drop 44 on them. Now the Rams is nice, Cooper Kupp and Puka is nice.
Yeah.
But they dropped 44. Man, I wouldn't feel good about that. If I was in that secondary, I'd be like, shit, Kay, we in trouble.
I feel like
we can't win a chip like this.
Yeah, I feel you on that, Aqib, but I feel like the defensive line's going to have to step it up in the playoffs for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, you play with Von Miller. His first step, his get-off is the most ridiculous get-off in the NFL, possibly in history of being the fastest. I feel like Von is going to have to step it up a little bit, and a couple of the other guys on the defensive line, and put pressure on the quarterback, on whoever they're playing, so, you know, he feels it and then possibly throws an interception or two right to a defender. Because, like you said, there's kind of no names in the secondary for the Buffalo Bills. I feel like that's why L.A. was able to throw the ball on them, even though it wasn't like they were misplaced or out of position. They got to have a guy, you know, eventually that can go up and just make a play and get that pick, right, so the momentum changes and then they can go down and score with Josh Allen. So I feel like the D-line, though, if they want something to happen, create a turnover, the D-line's going to have to put pressure on the quarterback when it comes down to the playoffs for the Bills.
No sacks for this defense, 3 quarterback hits to Aqib's point. And Aqib, you want to know who they have next? The Lions with Jared Goff, who I remember you're a pretty big fan of his game. Yeah. I remember you coming on the show and talking about that a lot. Let's get into that. He took your Rams to the Super Bowl. Does he have a chance? What are his chances as a Lions quarterback? What have you seen since I saw you last?
The same thing I told you last time, just performance after performance. JG just a quiet guy, man. He don't do a bunch of Instagram ranting, a bunch of interviews, man. He just go out and he handle business over and over again. Winning is a skill, and that's everywhere he go. That's what he do, man. So I love what Detroit got going still, okay? They in the trenches, offense, defense. They'll be in the show. It'll be them, Philly. Green Bay might creep up, but I love what Detroit is doing. I love what Jared Goff is doing, man. Leading those guys, making throws. They can kill you with the run. They can kill you with the pass. So I love what they got going in Detroit. Let's
look at the MVP odds, because he's in the conversation. I think Sam Darnold's working his way into the conversation after this game, but Allen's sitting there at -450. Who is your MVP and who is the best shot to take him out with 3 games left?
I might go, Josh Allen is balling, but, I mean, he's not my MVP. I don't know what it is about me in Buffalo, but he's not my MVP. Saquon, I mean, Jalen Hurts got more rushing touchdowns than him. I know it's a lot of tush-push, more rushing yards than him. It's a lot of quarterbacks who going hammered at him, just throwing the ball. So I don't see how he's the MVP. It's not the wins. Patrick first in the AFC, so it's not that. I'm gonna go Saquon probably. I'll probably go Saquon's my MVP, man. He just balling every week. He's doing his job plus a little bit more every week. I would say Lamar, but Lamar got those big game losses, man. I don't like those big game losses for Lamar. Jared Goff, if he had a little bit more rushing, a little bit more rushing touchdowns or something, he may get it. But I think it's not going to go to a quarterback this year.
Ooh.
If the Bengals was winning games, it'd definitely be Burrow, because he's going crazy. But I think it's not going to go to a quarterback this year, man. I think it's going to go to Saquon. If they finish off this year and he continues to do what he's been doing, I think he caught fire at the right time, and I think he had a momentum.
We'll see Burrow against the Cowboys tonight. Maybe he's Offensive Player of the Year. There's a lot that,
he got to get something. Burrow going
I know,
crazy.
It's so sad. He's got to get something. You mentioned the Eagles. They rip off they're 11-2. They have a 9th straight win. They clinch a playoff berth. But after the game, A.J. Brown was asked about the win, about what it looked like, whether it was too close for comfort. Take a listen.
What are some things you think that the offense needs to improve on? Passing.
AJ, I know everybody wants to get in rhythm. And Conte was acknowledging that. You know, receivers, just like running backs, want to get in rhythm. How hard is it as a receiver to get into a rhythm when you guys are only throwing the ball like 20 times?
Incredibly tough.
Aqib, what do you make of that? Because to me, I'm like, they're winning. Saquon's doing his thing. Is it he's not happy? Does he want the ball more? Is it a Jalen thing? What's the deal with the Eagles?
That's just a typical wide-out answer, man. Wide-outs they just a little diva-ish. We know that, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit of that in Gronk, but not really. You know what I'm saying? He got Gronk like a mix of an O-lineman and a line. So, you know, he got that dog in him plus the diva, you know. But that's you won't want to hear no other answer but that from a wideout. Give me the ball. I want to be part of the winning. Man, I want to help. Where can we get better at throwing me the ball? That's what we can get better at. So that's a typical wide receiver answer. But at the end of the day, that run game going travel, that defense is going travel. They doing what they playing the game exactly how they supposed to play it. When you play like that, you tend to make a team have to go single high and they want to come down and stop this run. And then that's when Devontae and AJ, they take off. So I think they playing it right. And the Eagles are making me nervous about my Detroit Lions Super Bowl prediction because what the Eagles are doing right now, man, they looking very, very dangerous.
Yes, they are, but I really like A.J. Brown. I mean, I love the way that he plays the game, his physicality, his size, his speed, his burst, all that good stuff, and I understand where he's coming from. And that's a good thing because I can tell you this, when I was beat down and I was getting covered, I would never complain about the ball not coming to me. And you know something, if I was open, I was running good routes and Tom wasn't throwing me the ball and we were running too much and I know that I could help and impact the team and make some plays and I'm feeling good, I would be complaining to Tom, hey, man, throw me the ball. Hey, Josh McDaniels, I'm open. Look at me run, man. I'm telling you I can make some plays. So I understand where A.J. Brown's coming from. That means he's feeling good. That means he's getting open. And that means he wants the ball so he can make plays for the Eagles and put more points on the board. So, A.J. Brown, the ball's going to come to you eventually. Just be ready for it. I mean, you got Saquon with the run game, so you're winning games as well, so you can't complain too much. But when that ball comes your way, hey, be ready for it and put some points and make some TDs and make some yards, baby.
I love this because Eagles fans are, like, killing the media this morning for digging for a story, for trying to make it seem. You're saying it's a great thing. He wants to be involved. He wants the ball. He'll be open when he. I love this for the Eagles. Now they just got to figure out their kicking situation because it was not looking great. I will say this about the kicking. It's Jake Elliott. He's incredible in the playoffs. You can't, if he has the yips or whatever, you can't talk about it. I don't like when people like, tear down the kicker right away. It's happening with Justin Tucker and everything. Like, let's let him figure it out and have trust in him while we can. The Eagles, by the way, host the Steelers this next week in Week 15. I can't wait to see that. Aqib, while we have you, I have to ask you because you played for Raheem Morris back in Tampa. I love him. He's an energy guy. His Falcons, though, spiraling. They've lost 4 straight. NFC South lead, they've lost that as well. What do you see when you watch Atlanta? What is going wrong?
I honestly see the quarterback struggling. I think when they was playing good, they was swagging and surfing, and the quarterback play was at an all-time high level. And now it's not that good. I don't know if it's scar tissue or something. He just looked like he's sore out there, like he was moving better at the beginning of the year. I don't know what happened. Maybe he injured it a little bit. I don't know what it is.
While he was swag surfing?
Exactly.
He threw out his chicken wing?
He's not sure if it's scar tissue. He don't got no scar tissue in his throwing arm, I can tell you that.
No, but it's his feet. You know, you throw with your legs. You got to plant. It start with your feet, though. Everything start with your feet.
It do.
It start from the bottom up. So he dropped. It just don't look like he got his legs into the throws. I don't know. Rod's my guy. You know what I'm saying? I know it ain't the energy in the building. I know it ain't that. Start with the quarterback play, man. So the quarterback play go down, then you start playing, you start losing
Aqib was
games.
part of that era in Tampa, too, where football was, like, secondary. It was all about the nightlife. It was all about what you were doing off the field from 2008 to 2012. I heard about those times in Tampa, man.
It was all about the parking lot, you know what I'm saying? We used to have,
imagine if we had
New Whip Fridays, man. Bring your cars up here on Fridays.
Hey, Thirsty Thursday on Howard Street. I heard all about it.
Thirsty Thursdays. Hey, I'm telling you. They used to go down there, man. We didn't really used to care about football. We was just happy to be there.
Aqib, what if we had young Gronk and Ra and young Talib on the same team? What would that have looked like?
Super Bowl champions, baby.
Super Bowl champs, baby.
On the field and off the field.
Hey, we definitely would have won the nightlife, I tell you that.
We would have been battling each other in practice as well. We've had a few battles when we were in New England when I was on the I was on the practice squad, remember? I was on the show team for a week or two coming back from my injuries. We were going at it.
We used to have to get my dog back in shape, man.
Yeah, I remember that.
Aqib, I don't know what to do with the Falcons. I'm looking at, so it's a Monday night game. They're at Raiders. Do we keep Kirk going? Do we want to see Penix? What say you?
I would switch. I'll go Penix, man. I'll switch now. I mean, why not? What can we lose?
I mean, they could lose a playoff spot, brother.
They can still make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I feel like we losing that playoff spot already. That ship is
Sinking,
ain't it?
But it's not sailed. You think, like, does Penix give them? The only reason you'd put Penix in is like he'd be so much better that he could get them into that position. Do you believe that?
See, I'm not trying to just make the playoffs, Kay. I'm trying to win the chip. Right now, looking at it, I'm like, Kurt not going to win us the chip.
No.
So at this point right here, maybe Penix could bring a spark and, you know what I'm saying, we start bringing that shit back up. Or it's just going to continue to sail down, or maybe it might level out. Right now, the Falcons are not winning a Super Bowl with what they have right now. You need a spark. Hey, man, we drafted this guy. He a vet. He a first-round pick. Get the ball downfield. They can't throw the ball downfield. He got a big arm, man. They need to get it downfield.
They have no chance to win a Super Bowl.
I think you have to wait till they're like out of contention and then put him in so it's not. Don't you want to set him up for success? I understand getting him in there and seeing how things are, but I don't know. Is that not going to mess him up developmentally?
Well, I feel like if Penix.
That boy about 26 years old, okay? He already ready mentally.
Yeah, you're right. He is 26-year-old rookie.
He's not a baby, man.
But I feel like if he was ready,
go play.
If he was ready and he would make the Atlanta Falcons better, they would know by now. They've had him long enough in practice to see what he could do. Obviously, they still believe that Kirk Cousins is the better answer to win games, or else by this time you would put Penix in. So I'm going with Kirk still.
I just want that ball to be downfield, man. You got two big-time receivers out there, man. Throw them the ball downfield. They can't get the ball downfield.
I mean, they can move the ball. The problem is with the Atlanta Falcons offense is they get into their opponent's territory, and then all of a sudden the drive just freezes, and they can't score points, man. They can drive, they can put up yards, but they can't score and they can't finish.
Your boy Ra insisting after the game that Kirk Cousins is still the guy, even though he lost and Darnold looked incredible there in Minnesota. You mentioned the Packers. I want to get a take out of you before you go. How far do you think they could go? Is there any other team? You said you like the Steelers. That would be a good game. Is there a team that you're eyeing? Gronk said the Chargers could make some noise. Obviously, they were without Ladd. It didn't happen last night. Is there a team you have a feeling about that might get further than other people do?
My sleeper team is the Steelers. I love what Pittsburgh and Mike T has going out there. I just love that defense, man. They got guys on every level. They got Porter, he gonna travel. They got Jackson, he getting the picks. Minka, they got dog safeties. They got the young boy Peyton in the middle with Pat Queen. They got a really good defense, man. I ain't even mentioned the DMVP, probably J.J. Watt or TJ Watt. And they got guys, Highsmith on the other side. That's a championship defense. See, when I think championships, I see that defense. I'm like, that defense can win a chip. On top of that, Warren is getting healthy. They running the ball better. And this the take of the day, Kay. Pickens is soaring. He's now a top 3 receiver in our league. I'm going Jamar. I'm going Jettas.
Wow.
Then I'm going Pickens, man.
Wow.
I'm taking him over everybody. So, and I guard these guys. So I know what it looked like, Kay. He is now popped his head up in the top 3 of the league. So I love it. I love what Pittsburgh got going. Russell is a leader. He's already proven. Pittsburgh, man, they super confident team. They got Mike T. He breeds confidence through players. That's his skill. I make you confident. You know what I'm saying? So I love what Pittsburgh is doing. I think they're going to creep up and surprise some people in the playoffs. I think
they have the highest floor. They're not going to get the love because they're not putting together the 6 touchdown performances that the Josh Allens are, but I think they can absolutely beat the Bills. They can beat anybody. They can beat the Chiefs.
They're going to travel. They play in the cold, so they're going to be able to travel. They got a solid defense. They got a solid run game.
Can you tell me more about Pickens? You're saying he's top 3. You are a Super Bowl champion. You cover these guys. Yeah. What has worked his way into the top 3? What is it about his game?
I feel like he's always been good, but I feel like he just, with a veteran quarterback, he's probably putting in more work after practice. He's just getting on the same page with his first time having a real quarterback, so to speak. So it's just flashing at all times, man. The 50-50 balls is his. The routes, the catch and run, just the dog mentality at receiver, man. When a receiver play like that, man, you know that's gonna turn the O-line up, the running backs. When a receiver play physical like that, that whole team is gonna feel that, and they're gonna build off of that, man. So I just love what he's doing right now, man. He a problem. Don't nobody want to guard him one-on-one. The best guy in the league, they don't want to guard him one-on-one. They're going to be looking for the safety to come
Gronk, I have
help
never
him.
needed something so badly more than Aqib versus Pickens.
Yeah.
That would be a sight to see.
I love Aqib. Aqib playing. I mean, Aqib was the whole package, man. You weren't just, one of those small corners. You're a big guy. You could cover. You could hit. You can talk garbage. You can make tackles in the run game, man. You were the real deal, man. I appreciated everything about your game as well, especially your garbage talking out on the field, man. You're a nonstop 24/7, but that just comes with the territory as a DB.
Right.
But I love what you're saying about Pickens, man. Obviously, he's the guy that can go up, make a jump ball 50-50, But with Russell Wilson, he's the guy that makes that ball, he makes that percentage go up when he throws it to Pickens because he knows how to put air under it so Pickens can go and make that play. And it turns into about a 75% chance, 25% chance when the ball should really be a 50-50 probability to be a catch. But with Pickens and Russell Wilson, with what they're doing, that's what's making them special, and that's what's making the Pittsburgh Steelers offense, go, throughout this year as well and continually get better.
Steelers get the Chiefs on Christmas. Excited to see that.
It'll be a great test for them.
I need you to take on Pickens in some sort of we got to figure something out. We'll get FanDuel involved.
I don't want no smoke.
I'd love to see that.
I'm about 225 now, okay? I don't want no smoke with that, boy.
I'd love to see it. We appreciate you so much. Love you stopping by the show. Great analysis. Pickens, top 3 receivers. Steelers, the sleeper team. And do not worry about the Eagles. Really important.
And Aqib.
Good
and remember, after you held me, in that Denver Broncos game, the following drive, I broke through that double coverage, man, for the 40-yard bomb to keep the drive going. And I scored a touchdown that drive as well, and double coverage as well. You forgot about that.
We be on Chris about that. That's my favorite joke to fire Chris up, man. Hey, Gronk, you remember what Gronk did to you?
I was on fire with that drive, though. No stopping me.
Yeah, you was. Man. Hey, I appreciate y'all.
Of course. Aqib, did you see the Vikings defensive celebration? Let me show you. I think it's White Chicks. Is that what? I've never seen the movie. Is that what it is?
Oh, the dance routine. I did, Kate. I did.
So they've been doing this all, and this is Brian Flores, which is wild because he encourages it. He loves it. Cam Bynum does this week in, week out. I want to know if you did this with, I don't even know, Browner or McCourty or whoever. If you went to the sideline after doing this, what is Belichick saying to you?
Bill probably wouldn't say nothing, man. As long as we getting down to interception. If I'm doing it, that means we just had a pick to the crib or something.
Yes.
So Bill gonna be happy, man. Bill is serious, but really behind the scenes, he really light. Gronk, no, he really light. He really a joke, and he really a funny guy, man. So he wouldn't have no problem with that.
Yeah, he's cool with it as long as you're making those plays, man. If you're not making those plays and you finally get one play and you do that touchdown celebration or celebrate after just one play and you're giving up 10, he can be like, nah, you can't celebrate. You already gave up 10 plays. You finally made one. You got to make 10 plays and only give up one play in order to celebrate in Coach Belichick's house, baby.
We talk about me. We talk about me.
You can do whatever you want. So, you're an exception, man. You're the guy that's making 10 plays, though, and only letting up one catch. So you can do whatever you want to keep.
So Bill wouldn't have no problems with me doing that.
No problems with you.
Especially if it was me and McCourty, we'd be all good.
Yeah, you good. You good.
Love you, Aqib. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Wonderful
take care.
reunion.
Take care, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, baby.
I think he could still cover somebody. I think he could kick somebody's ass.
I think he's like me. He's got like 5 plays in him, and then like after that, he's done.
What stops you from wanting to sign up for a team late in this, for a playoff?
Like what I said, like you got 5 plays
Calvin
in you,
Johnson.
and then
let's fucking go. The Lions get to the Super Bowl. Don't you just want to put him in for a minute?
What
is this?
Because no one's going to sign you just for 5 plays a game, Kay. Like you got to be able to go through everything throughout the whole year.
You don't think
practices,
the Fords would be like Calvin
training
get
camp,
in
here? You got to be
but if you're saying
able
you have
to show
5
that
plays
you're ready
in you.
and consistently ready as well. 5 plays in you is not enough to be able to get signed.
I don't know. I feel like you guys could do it. I love when you guys come back.
It is fun. It's just fun to reminisce about and talk about.
Was there a Broncos
I'm standing up.
for him?
All right.
How not? How could there not? How could there possibly not be? How could that possibly be true? Okay, so we come out of, what are we doing now? We have to stand up.
Yeah. I'm gonna be here. You're gonna be.
Oh my gosh, we're playing champagne pong. This doesn't make any sense now. This makes no sense to do.
The old world tight end, 6'7" Watch Gronk coming here, getting himself a block, beautifully done.
I just threw him into the NBC camera.
Highlight film back. All blocks. You saw those blocks. You see that pancake I had just on the chip on the Detroit Lions defender? Go boom.
We told you, my
I sent him
friends.
flying about 5 yards.
We
told you we'd come through.
We'd give you a blocking montage.
All right, we're going to get into a little prop-a-shot here. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. Kay, you went 2 for 3 last week, so you have a 3-point lead now. Gronk, you went just 1 for 3. But we've got a little way for you to make up some ground here. As you can see, we've got a beer pong set up here.
Great.
While I tee you guys up with some props.
This seems really unfair. I mean,
you know.
And after that new highlight film, it should be block a shot, baby.
All right, let's get to it.
While I give you guys the props, you guys are going to take some shots.
All right, let's
Chance
do
to
it.
earn an extra point. All
I'm
right.
really good at this.
Oh,
Got a lot of
what's
experience
the
from
score?
college.
It's 21-18. You're
Okay, so I
up.
was-
You got a 3-point lead.
All right.
All right, we got Cowboys-Bengals for tonight. Gronk, I'm going to start with you.
All right.
CD Lamb's line for receiving yards is 66.5 yards. So does he hit that against this
Rimmed
Bengals
it.
defense?
Yes, he's going to hit it. He's going to go over 66.5 yards. CD Lamb, he's due for a breakout game, even though he's been having a pretty solid year still. But it's the Bengals defense. Come on now. Who hasn't gone over versus the Bengals defense?
It's a fair point. All right, Kay, Jamar Chase's line.
Is this water in here? What the hell is happening? There's water in here. It's not even champagne.
Mine's shots.
Here you go.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
You can do
Shots at
champagne in
8:30
hand.
a.m.
You can play champagne in
No,
hand.
it's
All right.
literally water.
Jamar Chase's line for receiving yards is 80.5. So does he go over or under that?
Obviously, I'm gonna go over. Does this make any
You're a
sense? Because
lefty?
it's water. Yeah, I am.
That was
You
a
don't
little
know?
weird.
I'm gonna go over because he's averaging close to 100. Diggs, questionable, don't know about that. And he's better than Pickens. So I'm gonna go with the over there. Sorry, Aqib.
All right, Gronk, back to you now. Joe Burrow's line for touchdown passes is 1.5. So does he go over that or under?
I mean, we're talking Joe Burrow. He should be in MVP considerations. It's kind of BS that he's not just because they're losing. He's still one of the most valuable players in the NFL, and he's absolutely on fire. He's going to go over. He's going to at least throw 2 touchdown passes.
Did you try to make
All
one?
right, let's do it.
I feel like it's also skewed differently.
It is a
Okay.
little skewed. All
Yeah,
right.
it's not okay. Go ahead.
Okay, Rico Dowdle's heating up. His line for rushing yards, 68.5. Does he go over or under that?
He's going to go over the Cowboys. They're committing to the run, which we kind of like to see. Dowdle, sneaky. He's averaging 20 carries for 100 yards. Volume-wise, I like it.
All right, Gronk,
Go for it.
anytime touchdown score for the Cowboys. Nobody's getting
I'm going to go with a fellow tight end, Jake Ferguson, baby. I mean, he's due to score a touchdown.
Let's go.
Please,
Plus
Jake,
280.
come through, man. I'm putting my money on
Okay,
you.
I like it.
Please.
280, we like it. All right, Kay,
Oh.
anytime touchdown score for the Bengals.
Oh my gosh, let me see. Anytime touchdown score for the Bengals. I don't know. I guess I will go Jamar Chase, minus 145. That seems to be cute and well, and I can't get. Oh, I sunk
You got
one
him in the
finally.
parlay? All right.
5 shots in a row.
Kay gets the extra point.
I guess we're gonna. You think I'm gonna drink that? It's disgusting that anybody ever did this. Everyone's dirty paws all over it.
Good point.
All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. I don't know what's going on. We'll be back after this.
Finally. Finally
very
made one.
nice. Very, very nice. What were the odds for Jamar there? Minus 145?
Minus 145. Yeah.
That's an easy pickings.
Yeah.
Easy pickings one. How about George being top 3? I actually can't get over that.
Yeah, that was.
So what's this last seg? $50 seconds? Of what? Oh, okay.
Am I on?
How long is that going to take? I can't believe. Okay. Aqib was wild on that Patriots team. I remember.
He was great.
He was so
He was the
wild.
man.
Wild boy. Why can't I think of who else was on? Oh, Jamie Collins.
We had a really good defense.
Who's the other corner? McCourty.
We had a
Who's the
chance.
other corner?
Literally, we had a chance to win it all every single year. We should have won more.
Did you coast ever?
coast, like once in a while. Like if you're beat up, I mean, you don't.
Do you think the Chiefs are coasting? No. You think they're trying like 100? What do you really think?
It's tough. I don't think they're coasting.
KD said like maybe they're,
like
it
it's not really.
close.
It's not really coasting.
Yeah, you don't want to say that.
It's more like it's not too exciting to them yet. You know?
So like yesterday, somebody made a good point. I said, oh, if they had Ladd, the Chargers would be winning, and the responses I got were like savage and like fair. But they were like, if Ladd was if they were putting up 30, the Chiefs would be putting up 30.
Exactly.
But what is
they
that? I don't
respond to
understand.
the competition. I mean, they respond to the type of game that's going on. It's kind of hard to explain. It's just a feel, week in and week out, I feel like. But they did. Who did they put up points against?
But did Tom ever play
year?
down to? So you're basically saying they played down to competition.
It happens because the NFL.
Did it happen with you guys?
It didn't happen often, but it happened every once in a while because there's just so many games. You can be beat up that week too. You're just not feeling mentally, well. You're kind of drained. You're physically beat up.
But it all makes sense at the end.
But when it comes down to like a peer pressure game, like a game that's on the line, you got to win, or you go home, then you amp it up again, and like those bumps and bruises you don't feel, throughout the game.
Do you think this is their year?
You go to another level. The Chiefs, I can't bet against them, Kay.
Same.
I just can't. I have, and I look like a fool every time I do. So I'm going with the Chiefs still.
I like the Steelers. I really like the Steelers.
I do like the Steelers because of their defense and just Tomlin, what he's been doing.
The Russell thing is. Yep. We have a thought? All right, let's take a look at this. This was absolute chaos, but we do have prop picks for tonight. It's a great game. You got Bengals, Cowboys, especially for fantasy, daily fantasy, or on FanDuel, or if you're hanging out in the sportsbook. I said Jamar Chase over on the yards. Dowdle, who knew, over on the rush yards, and my anytime touchdown score. I'm going back to Jamar. What do you got, Gronk?
All right, I got CeeDee Lamb going over 66.5 receiving yards versus the Bengals defense, who hasn't done that yet. Then Joe Burrow, who should be an MVP, going over 1.5 passing TDs. And I'm going with a fellow tight end, Jake Ferguson, to have an anytime touchdown at any time in the game.
You couldn't bring Tom with you today?
No, he was busy. He went home. He's got to see his kids. So he's got a very busy schedule.
You're the MVP for being here. Let's go shoot a commercial that neither of us know anything about. Go hang out on FanDuel Sports. Woo! And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Devontae Adams on the show. I think. Did we? Devontae's coming on, yeah?
Devontae's here.